Hello, all you fabulous and wonderful people. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video. And today we are doing a whole different sort of video, as you can see. If you haven't guessed by the thumbnail or the title of this video, it is all about a Q&A. So we recently hit 10,000 subscribers on this channel, and I have to say thank you very much for that support and everything. I can't even believe it. It has been an amazing journey these last few months. So I thought it would be fun to sit down and answer you guys' question. I had asked in the community tab if you guys had any questions you wanted to ask me, and you all had a lot of questions. I was not expecting so many questions, so I am flattered and thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into it. These questions, by the way, these questions are in I tried to put them all in a certain order, kind of clumping them together. So they're not in the order that I received them. If you think that you were the first to ask, it is all out of order. I just put them, the ones that were related, together. So the first question is, what made you want to start doing YouTube videos? So back in 2014, when I started really getting into watching YouTube, I had found a YouTuber, a simmer, by the name of Life Simmer, who sadly no longer makes content anymore. But I started watching her videos. Now, she did videos, I believe, on The Sims 3 and 4. She might have done a few on other types of sim games, but mostly what I was watching was her Sims 3 and 4 content. And she just made it seem so much fun, and it was super exciting to watch her videos and inspiring. And whenever I get like really excited about something, I tend to talk about it to other people. Specifically, my husband gets a lot of it. So when I have like an idea and I'm really excited about it, I will go to him and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. So after watching for, I don't know, maybe almost a year, her videos, I got really inspired to try and make the same content, or at least videos on The Sims. So I had gone to my husband and I said, hey honey, I'm really thinking about making content. I have some free time. We were doing a lot of theater at that time, but we were kind of taking a little bit of a break, and I thought, hey, this is a perfect time to kind of fill my time. What do you think? And he said, you know what? Nothing can hurt if you just try and see if you like it. You might not like it. So after he started encouraging me to make the videos, I went ahead and took the plunge, and here we are later. I started my channel in September of 2015, and here we are 6 years later. The next question is, what's your favorite game to play, and how/why did you start creating YouTube content? So obviously we already answered that second part, but my favorite game to play is The Sims. I would have to say it's probably The Sims. Now, I wouldn't limit it to just The Sims, but I like simulation games in general. But my all-time favorite is The Sims. So the next question is 3 questions. So why did you start streaming? What is your favorite game of all time besides The Sims? And when are you gonna start advertising your Twitch streams in your YouTube videos? Okay, so first of all, why did you start streaming? So for those that don't know, I do currently live stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe I had somebody tell me, why don't you stream? So I started streaming on YouTube at that time, and then I had people come to me like, hey, you should really be streaming on Twitch. And I'm like, what is Twitch? I don't know. So I found out what Twitch was. I started watching big streamers over there, and I instantly really liked the community over there. It was fun. It was at the time, it It was better than what I was doing on YouTube. So I finally, that was in 2017. So it took me like almost a whole year to actually make the jump. In 2018, then I got over and started streaming on Twitch, and that's how I got started into streaming. What is your favorite game of all time besides The Sims? Let's see. I would have to say my favorite all-time game is probably Tomb Raider, the whole Tomb Raider series. And I also really like the Assassin's Creed series. Now, I haven't played them all, but I've played a few of them now and have really enjoyed that. And probably I have to say Red Dead Redemption 2, which I did play on live stream, and I did complete that. So yeah, I'd probably have to say those are probably my favorite besides The Sims. And the other part of his question is, when are you going to start advertising your Twitch streams and your YouTube videos? Well, I just did. But actually, I used to advertise all the time in my YouTube videos that I am a streamer on Twitch. When I started making the change to Sims 4 on this channel, going back to Sims 4, I did stop after a while. And the reason I stopped advertising it is because when I live stream, it normally is a whole different game. Like, I'm a variety streamer over there on Twitch. So I just felt like, and maybe this is not, like good on my part for assuming this, but I just assume that people come to my channel today. They come to my channel to see the Sims 4 gameplay and story and stuff. So I didn't think people would have an interest in watching other types of games. I figured that the people that come to my channel are here for the Sims 4, and I wasn't streaming that. So I didn't think they'd have an interest in any other games that I would be playing. So that's why I didn't advertise it anymore. Now, I have, of course, since then started streaming The Sims 4, and I've been having so much fun with it. Yeah, so every Monday I do live stream Sims 4. We're doing something, whether it be building or whether it's another challenge or something. But yes, I pretty much tried to dedicate Sims 4 for Mondays. And then the other 2 days are other types of games. And the next question is, what, if any, other games do you play apart from The Sims? Also, are you a veteran player of Sims 1, 2, or 3? And how do you like those games? I pretty much like all types of games. I really don't care for like the battle royales, but I do pretty much like all of them. My favorite like go-to genres are, of course, simulation games like The Sims. I do really enjoy the life simulation games a lot. Or I do like survival games. There for a long time, I was streaming survival games over on Twitch all the time. And I also like story-based games and or RPGs. And the other part of that question is, are you a veteran player of The Sims 1, 2, and 3, or 3? I am. I started playing The Sims 1 when it came out in 2000. I feel like I was in a store and I saw it and I was like, yes, I gotta try this game out. I was pretty new at that point in 2000. I was pretty new to PC gaming. I really didn't play PC games at that point. I did a lot more console games like Nintendo and PlayStation and stuff. So when that came out in 2000 and I tried it and I got it, I really instantly liked it. So yes, I am definitely a veteran of playing The Sims. The next question is, I hope this is not too personal, but I would love to know if you have kids and how old they are. And did you play The Sims from the very beginning? And if, what were your favorite features? I have one son and he is going to be 30 years old on Christmas. As I just answered, I have played from the beginning of Sims 1 when the first one came out. So some of my favorite features, probably I have to say The Sims 1 was just something I had never played before. So like it was so different at that time. It was so different. Sims 2 came out and I was like, wow, the jump in graphics from Sims 1 to Sims 2, and those of you that have played all of the Sims games, you know what I'm talking about. It's amazing how big the change was from Sims 1 to 2. At Sims 3, probably my favorite feature would be the open world to it, and there was just so much content for The Sims 3. And the next question is, what's your favorite Sims game? So I have to say, up until this point, Sims 3 was always my favorite, but even probably just more recently, I've been really enjoying The Sims 4. Despite all its flaws and everything that's, all its bugs, I probably have to say The Sims 4 is probably my favorite. But Sims 3, I have recently been playing. I got back into The Sims 3 and I have been also enjoying that. So it's probably a close second to The Sims 4. I think with Sims 4, I think it's because of the graphics. The graphics are just a lot nicer. The next question is, what made you start wanting to play the Sims 4 franchise? So naturally, because I had played the first 3 Sims, I was going to play The Sims 4. I just fell in love with the whole franchise and I look forward to the next game, Sims 5. If it ever comes out, I will probably make content on that as well. Do you have any pets? Yes, I have 2 dogs. I have a lab mix named Sebastian and I have a Chihuahua mix named Jax. And you will quite often see Jax on my live streams. I love your accent. What state are you from? I am from Michigan. What are your favorite books and or movies? I used to read like all the time, but since I have been streaming and making videos here on YouTube, I have kind of not been reading, but some of my favorite books that I have, my all-time favorite author is John Saul. So if you've not heard of him and you like mystery, kind of like Stephen King, but maybe not as, he's a little bit different than Stephen King, but he's in that genre. Check him out. I don't think he writes anymore. I think he has retired. Of course, I love Stephen King. Some of my favorite movies, I would probably have to say my all-time favorite movie is probably Pretty Woman. Pretty Woman and Dirty Dancing. Who is your favorite simmer to watch? Most recently, I have found like Claire Sivan. I'm probably saying that wrong. I apologize, but I also have been watching I'm a longtime watcher of Little Simsy. I've been watching her since she started. I also have been watching James Turner for a really long time, like way back when he was the Sim Supply. And I have also been watching The Legacy since she started. I also enjoy Plumbella. Like those are the main ones that I kind of watch and enjoy a lot. Who is someone you look up to / a role model? So I know this is gonna sound really super cheesy, but I would have to say that my top big influencers in my life that I really have looked up to, I have to say is probably my mom, who sadly is no longer with us. She passed away a long time ago, but she just taught me a lot of different things. And yeah, even today, I take a lot of what she has taught me over the years and, apply it to my life. And I'd have to say that the main influencer in my life, and I'm going to try and do this without crying, which is going to be probably near impossible, is probably been my husband. I have to say that my husband is a big influence on my life. Anything, whether it's a crazy idea that I have, I'll say, honey, I'm thinking about doing this. It could be anything, and he will support me. He encourages me to do it. He is the main supporter for me to doing this YouTube. Without him, I probably would not be making these videos. He is definitely my strength. He encourages me in following my dreams. And yeah, I'd have to say my mom and my husband are probably my biggest role models. What is your favorite stage production to manage? So in case you don't know, my husband and I do stage manage for some local theater companies here in our area. I would have to say my favorite show that we've done, it's hard to actually like pinpoint a favorite. I certainly have a few that I could just do over and over again. One of which is probably a show you guys probably would know, is called The Little Mermaid. I just really enjoyed doing that show. It was the first time that my husband and I actually we got to experience like working with flies, having people fly through the air. We had pyro in there a little bit. I mean, it was a large cast and it was just a fun show. Is doing YouTube your full-time job, or do you have another job as well? If so, what is it? I love your videos and keep up the amazing work. So yes, currently YouTube is my full-time job, or at least I'm trying to make it my full-time job. What advice would you give to someone wanting to learn and start making gaming videos? I would say anybody that is wanting to start making gaming videos, first of all, figure out what gaming videos you want to do. There's like a ton of videos on YouTube that will tell you how to get started and everything. You know, I'd say watch those. You definitely want to find something you enjoy, but also something that is current and popular as well. But definitely the most important thing is to have fun with it. Just as long as you're having fun and being yourself, don't try and be someone you're not, because that is gonna eventually come across. You definitely want to be yourself and have fun in your videos. Also, don't get discouraged. It's really easy to see and get down, oh, I'm not getting views, or my video's not doing very well, or whatever. This is the way I look at it. Each video that I make here on YouTube is like a practice run for me. So I figure this video that I'm going to put up today is good. I feel good about it, but then the next video that I'm going to do is going to be even better. Or at least I'm gonna try to make it even better. You know, if that makes any sense, don't think too much about the algorithm or, you know, your stats or how many subscribers you have. Just as long as you're enjoying it and having fun, that is all good. Also, probably learning about editing, all the different types of editing software, recording software, you know, learning the basics of how to get started. There is tons of videos on YouTube to watch about that. When did you start seeing The Sims as a way to make videos and connect with people? I never really saw my Sims videos as a way to really connect to people until the Decades Challenge. So I guess the answer to your question would be when I started making the Decades Challenge. The Decades Challenge was really the first videos. They were the first videos where they got a lot of attention. I had a lot more people commenting on them. I was connecting with a lot more people. I quickly realized that, wow, there's actually people out there that want to connect with me through my videos and help create a story. It's funny because when I first started the Decades Challenge, I didn't really see it as an opportunity to tell a story too much. I was not really, if you remember, those first few videos were not really like, they're like different than what I make now, I guess. I put way more story into things now, and I connect with you guys because I'm always wanting to get your feedback on where we should go with this storyline and everything. So yeah, I would have to say that the Decades Challenge is probably the first time that I realized, hey, I have an audience here, and we can connect and we can make something great. We can make some really good and interesting, fun and interesting stories. Following some of the clues you give in your voiceovers, I think you may be a middle-aged gamer, so am I. How does it feel to be an older simmer? And what advice would you give to others playing The Sims? I am definitely a middle-aged gamer. That is 100% true. But I love the fact that I am my age and playing video games. Like, I love the fact that I'm doing that. And I love the fact that I can connect with others my age or around my age that are also that way. As far as an advice that I would give to people who are playing The Sims, I'm really not great at playing The Sims. I really don't have advice. Like, when you say advice, I think of like tips and tricks, maybe. Maybe I'm totally reading that wrong, but I get all the advice from you guys. You guys have shared me a wealth of knowledge. I've learned in the last 6 months, I've probably learned so much about The Sims 4 than I ever have. And this game has been out for how long? But you guys have just taught me so much. Any chance for a Sims 3 Let's Play, maybe Generations? I was actually creating content on The Sims 3. And years ago, I did make some Sims 2 content. Would there be any chance? There possibly could be a chance for me to do some kind of like a challenge or a let's play with The Sims 3 if enough people wanted me to. What has surprised you the most while playing the Decades Challenge? I think what surprised me the most about this challenge was I wasn't expecting to fall so in love with this challenge. This is the first challenge where I actually really loved all of the characters that I'm playing or have played. It's such a big surprise to me. Like the Decades Challenge was the first that I've legitimately cried on when my Sims die. Like I've never had that happen before. So that was quite surprising. Also, I was very, very surprised to see how much attention it has gotten in the past year. I'm grateful and thankful that you guys have found me, but it's just a big surprise. You have to understand that prior to the pandemic, prior to me doing the Decades Challenge, I had been on YouTube for a number of years, like 5 years, or 4 years, I guess, at the time. So to get the attention that it got was quite jarring and quite surprising. And exciting at the same time. I'm going to be very, very sad when this challenge is over. I don't want it to end, seriously. It's going to be a very sad day when we're all finished with it. What was the one thing you wish you would have known about prior to starting the Decades Challenge? I guess the one thing that I wish I would have known prior to this was how much people were going to love it and how much people really wanted to know where I got my custom content from. If I had known that you guys were wanting to know so much about the custom content and mods I use, I would have definitely had my website or something set up ahead of time. As you guys know, I had to go back when I got so many people back in May and June. I had so many people asking where I got my CC from and mods. It was very overwhelming. And to try and answer that in comments, it would be a long list. So I knew I had to have a place where you guys could go and just get it yourself. So that's when I came up with making the website. But of course, having to go back to prior decades and to find where I got that CC was very difficult. So it would have made my life a lot easier to have done that from the get-go. Going back to the question earlier, to anybody who's starting a channel, specifically like a Sims channel, definitely when you make a video, have your links ready for your CC and mods, because people will ask for it. People will definitely come to you and ask, hey, where'd you get that? And I can't blame them, but you guys have been very, very nice about it. And you're not rude or demanding or anything. You've been very, very nice. And in case you guys don't know, I do have a website, www.SeeJenGame.com. Super easy to remember, but all of my CC is on that, and right now it is broken down into the decades, like starting with the 1890s and then going on and on. I do need to do some updating with it. I try and do that as much as I can. It's just very time consuming, so I definitely am still working on that. So I thank you guys for having so much patience with me and getting that all set up. What's your favorite decade? Mine is the 1890s, the Wild West era. I used to think my favorite decade was the 50s because that's when we had Maria and all her dramas just starting and everything. And then we had the whole thing with Billy and Susan in that time. But now since we're into the 80s, probably I have to say my favorite decade. I feel like I can't pin it to just one decade. So I have to say like 70s and 80s are probably my favorite. We know you were really attached to Maria, but which one of the characters resembles you the most? Which one has more of your personality and likes? I feel like a lot of my personality comes through like all of my characters, kind of, at least all of the main characters that I played. I feel like my personality comes through. If I had to pick one that was most like me, I would say it would definitely be Maria. Her craziness, I like to say I am pretty crazy and stuff, but I'd have to say probably a mix between Maria and Catherine. I found you a while ago because of your Not So Berry challenge and quickly caught up with the decade Decades Challenge while you were still on your first generation. I know from what you stated at the time that it was being too much to do all the different storylines, so you streamlined to just doing the Decades Challenge. Are you still managing to feel like the channel isn't taking over your life, even though you've gained several thousand more? I'm also wondering if your major cleaning out of unnecessary stuff worked, and if you've been able to keep to the reduced material possessions, or if more clutter has crept back in. At the time my videos really took off, I was doing a lot of life things. My husband and I were doing a lot of decluttering, and we were going minimalistic, which we still are trying to work on. We have slowed down a lot. Even though I have way more subscribers now, I feel a lot more in control. I feel like over the last couple of months, I have definitely set up a schedule. I have definitely got a routine going, so that has made things easier. And certainly I feel like the more subscribers, the more views that I've been getting has definitely fueled that routine and that schedule I have set, which, in case you guys haven't figured out by now, is every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I would like to get to the point where I'm making content Monday through Friday. We'll take it one step at a time, but for right now, this has been the schedule: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As far as the decluttering, like I said, we have slowed down quite a bit, but pretty much the stuff has stayed clean. I'm actually really happy that the closet is still bare, basically. The closet is still cleaned out. The last couple of questions that I got from you guys have been, what is your plan after the Decades Challenge? So you guys really want to know what's coming after the Decades Challenge. I actually started thinking about this. It was when we hit the 70s that I realized that we're getting towards that end. So I started thinking, what's gonna happen after this Decades Challenge is done? What are we gonna do? So I decided when we get close to ending, like by close, we're talking like maybe 2010s, I do plan on, first of all, I do plan on doing the bonus 2020. I am going to be doing that as well. So maybe like when we get into the 2000s and 2010s, around that time, I will put up a poll here in the community tab. So make sure that you check that when we're getting close to that. Right now, we are at the end of the 1980s, so we have quite a bit of time yet. I will put on that poll some challenges that sound interesting to me that I think others might find interesting. I also welcome any suggestions you guys have, and I can take a look at that challenge and put it into the poll. But I definitely want your guys' input on what we do and where we go from here, because I am the type of person, I have a hard time making decisions, y'all. I have a really hard time deciding what to do next. And I guess I have a little bit of fear in the back of my mind that when this challenge is done, there's never going to be a series as good as this challenge. There's never going to be another challenge. Like, this is done. My channel will be over. I know that's not gonna happen, but that's just, I just feel so connected and have so enjoyed this Decades Challenge that I don't want it to end. So yeah, I plan on doing that poll, so definitely make sure you look out for that. And then the last question is just wondering, are you still accepting the Sims that your viewers / subscribers create for your Decades Challenge? Yes, I am planning on adding more Sims. When we hit the 1990s, which is going to be in like a couple of episodes, when we hit the 1990s, I plan on going through some of your guys' Sims and adding them into the world. And whatever Sims I don't use, I'm thinking I will use for the next challenges. I hope you guys don't mind, but I would love to use the Sims that you create. I would love to use them in future challenges. So yeah, I'm definitely planning on adding more of your guys' Sims into my world when we hit the 1990s. So that is all of the questions you guys have asked. I really do appreciate you guys asking questions. I really think it was fun. To tell you the truth, I was terrified to make this video. I'm a very awkward person, so it's a challenge for me to sit here in front of the camera and just stare at the camera. So yeah, this has definitely been a challenge, but I'm the type of person where I like to try new things, and if I don't like it, I don't do it. I try to push myself to do things that I wouldn't normally do like this. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed, it would be amazing if you did. And also don't forget to click the little bell to get notified whenever I have a video go up. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.